Time. Welcome to our table. It is such a pleasure to have you here today. Balance is essential to how we experience coffee and the growth of our industry. As a coffee shop owner and barista, it's been amazing to experience the increasingly unique flavors in coffee over the last few years that have come as a result of the constant innovation by farmers and producers. This innovation has led to heightened control and advancements in drying and fermentation techniques that are giving way to more and more of these extraordinary coffees. As baristas, it is our responsibility to balance these increasingly unique flavors and to serve our coffees with intentionality so that we can deliver balanced coffee experiences. This is a key to how we grow our industry, how we push our coffee forward, and welcome everyone to our table. I hope you enjoyed today's service. These past few years of tasting and serving many different coffees from many different farms and roasters from all over the world has led me to focus on balance and how important that is to our coffee experience. This past decade has ushered in so many innovative processing techniques that are challenging our expectations of what a coffee should taste like. While that is exciting for those of us in the industry, it often pushes the regular consumer away. Balance is how we best display this innovation brought forth by producers while inviting consumers to be part of our tables and part of this conversation. And I believe there's at least two essential components to how we experience balance in coffee. The first one is flavor. Balance of flavor is a harmony between the acidity, sweetness, bitterness, and body of a coffee. So about 2 months ago, I connected with producer Jameson Savage, who introduced me to a coffee with some of the most unique flavors that I've ever experienced. I'm honored and thankful for the opportunity to share these with you today. This is a Gesha varietal, grown at 2,000 meters above sea level at Finca de Bora in Volcán, Panama, and a great example of innovation in coffee processing. As I bring these coffees to your table, I'll kindly ask you to evaluate the crema, but wait to taste. I'm also going to be stirring for you later on. This coffee was fermented for more than 100 hours in hermetically sealed pH and temperature controlled tanks, where the CO2 that's produced by the bean during fermentation is going to lead to an anaerobic environment, allowing the bean to absorb and develop deep fruit flavors, wonderful aromatics, and a vibrant and bright acidity. Now, after roasting, we baristas bring these flavor elements into balance through the manipulation of dose, time, and yield. So I found this coffee to be at its most balanced at an 18-gram dose, 46-gram yield, in 22 seconds. I also chilled the spouts of the portafilters to quickly cool down the first few seconds in the extraction, trapping a number of volatile compounds in your cup to balance that vibrancy with increased perception of sweetness. Now, please be kind enough to write this down. In your espressos, you'll experience a medium body with a silky and creamy texture. The acidity will be high, like grapefruit and nectarine. As you keep drinking your espressos, they'll get sweeter. You'll experience single origin dark chocolate. The finish will be medium and pleasantly dry, like passion fruit, with a lingering and coating aftertaste of 80% dark chocolate. Thank you once again, and welcome to our table. Please enjoy. So we've seen how the flavor elements of acidity, sweetness, bitterness, and body build our overall perception of flavor, and how the balancing of these flavors is how we as baristas elevate the coffee experience. So for your signature beverage, I'd like us to further explore how it is that we bring these flavor elements into balance by understanding how they enhance or counter each other in our coffee making. We're going to be starting with 2 new espressos of the same coffee that you were served in the last course, and I'm going to be going over each of the flavor elements in the coffee and adding an ingredient that best represents each one, but adding them in a way that creates balance between the flavor elements to further elevate the experience for you today. I'm going to be serving your drink at 100 degrees Fahrenheit because this is where I found that the flavors are at their most balanced and their most enjoyable. So we'll start with acidity, which is one of the most desirable elements in high quality coffee. Our perception of acidity comes through the combination of the different acid compounds that are present in the cup. In this anaerobic processing that's created by carbonic maceration, the lack of oxygen is going to lead to a production of lactic acid, which is going to give coffees like this Gesha its very unique flavors. So I'm going to be adding half a gram of a lactic acid solution to ramp up the acidity in your drink and create a new flavor of peach. Our next flavor element is sweetness, which rounds out acidity and adds a new layer of flavor. Now we know that ripe coffee cherries have a high concentration of sugars, but 99% of these are lost during roasting. Instead, our perception of sweetness comes through the volatile compounds present in the coffee's aroma. Based on that, I'm going to be adding sweetness in 2 ways today by using elements from Jameson's own farm in Panama. I'm going to be starting with 35 grams of a cascara maceration. I made this with 100 grams of Gesha cascara from Jameson's farm in a sealed container for 100 hours, along with 200 grams of water and 40 grams of sugar. This is going to round out that nectarine acidity and create a new flavor of strawberry yogurt. Next, I'm creating an aromatic vapor to infuse your cups with. In this vaporizer, I have half a gram of dried coffee blossom, also from Panama. I found that the aromatics from the coffee blossom is going to really magnify the sweetness of your drink that you'll be able to experience as a rich Tootsie Roll. I'm going to let this infuse for 3 minutes to maximize those aromatics. Our next flavor element is bitterness, which counters that rich sweetness and has even more depth of flavor. Bitterness in coffee is created through the different chemical reactions that happen during roasting. So, based on this, and tying it into that earlier chocolate note, I'm going to be adding 8 grams of a cacao bean extract that is very bitter. I made this with 100 grams of roasted cacao beans, 200 grams of water, simmered together for 30 minutes at 200 degrees Fahrenheit, and then filtered. This is going to tone down the sweetness of the milk chocolate and create a new flavor of green pear. Our final flavor element is body, that tactile sensation that heightens our experience of the other flavor elements and brings them together. We experience body in coffee through the emulsified oils that are present in the cup. For that reason, we're going to be making our own emulsion to elevate the body of this drink. I'm going to be starting with 5 grams of a coffee oil. I made this with a 1-to-1 ratio of pure refined rapeseed oil and spent pucks of this same coffee infused together for 10 days and then filtered. I'm also going to be adding half a gram of sodium caseinate, or casein, which is a protein found in milk that's going to act as an emulsifier, and 5 grams of heavy cream for added texture. I'm going to be placing all of this in this homogenizer, where it's going to mix for about a minute and a half. And excuse me, this might be a little bit loud. Here, the water attracting and the water repelling parts of the casein protein are going to bind the liquids and oils of your drink, creating an emulsion, which is then going to be stabilized by the use of a homogenizer. This is going to give your drink body and texture that you will experience as medium in weight with a silky and creamy mouthfeel. Now, your drinking instructions for this course. As soon as I hand you your drinks, I'll kindly ask you to stir for 10 seconds with the spoons that are in the middle of your table. You can then deposit those spoons in those little bowls that are to your right. I'll then kindly ask you to please enjoy in at least 3 sips. If you'd be kind enough to write this down once more, in your drinks, you will experience a medium body with a silky and creamy mouthfeel. Flavors of peach, strawberry yogurt, green pear, an amaretto finish, and a prolonged, smooth aftertaste of Tootsie Roll. Again, those flavor notes are going to be medium body, silky and creamy mouthfeel, nectarine, green pear, amaretto finish, and Tootsie Roll aftertaste. Thank you very much. Please enjoy. Please enjoy. Please enjoy. Please enjoy. I'll be right back with your final round of drinks. Our second essential component to a balanced coffee experience is service. Balance of service is a harmony between the quality of our coffee and the intentionality of our hospitality. As baristas, we have the power to elevate the coffee tasting experience. When we serve our coffees, we have the power to transform extraordinary coffees into memorable experiences when we serve our coffees with warmth and intention. Now, as I serve your drinks, I'll kindly ask you to please make your evaluations, but wait to taste until after I call time. It's by delivering these experiences that makes people feel welcome at our table. And it's ultimately what invites them to keep coming back time and time again. I chose to serve the milk course last because I believe it best represents this balance between coffee and intentional hospitality by being a drink that's able to deliver both unique and comforting flavors. To deliver on this promise, I made a special blend for your milk. I mixed 75% of unpasteurized milk with 25% lactose-free freeze-distilled milk. This added sweetness of the freeze-distilled milk in the form of glucose is going to once again round out that acidity in the coffee and give this drink warm and welcoming flavors. Now, after I call time, I'll kindly ask you to once again stir for 10 seconds with your spoons that sit on top of your little trays, and then enjoy across 3 sips. In these drinks, you will experience flavors of chocolate soft serve, almond, and strawberry ice cream. Judges, it's been a pleasure serving you today. I hope this has been an example of how we can create balanced coffee experiences in coffee. time.
Hugo, Cano, Amberson Coffee, Indianapolis, Indiana.